Hey everybody, it's Brian from the future. I just wanted to add this little thing before the actual video starts. I had recorded this a couple of days ago, and they had just this morning started releasing reviews for the game, and it's getting pretty good reviews, so I'm getting extra excited. Anyway, I just wanted to put this disclaimer up there because I hadn't done the video, I had done the video prior. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. How's it going, everyone? Brian here. For those of you new to the channel, I normally do film reviews on this channel where you can actually see my face. And for those of you returning, as you can see, obviously, the video is different in a few ways, including the fact that you can't see me for once. But I figured I'd do something special and, well, different for this topic, because I've been wanting to do this one in a video for a little while now. As many of you already likely know, we are just a matter of hours until the release of the first of its kind RPG set in the Wizarding World, where we get the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts franchises. This game, Hogwarts Legacy, has been a focus for hardcore Harry Potter fans, interested RPG gamers, and also boycotters. Since this game has been in the public eye for these reasons, I wanted to touch on my take of the situation, the connection that I have with the Wizarding World, and my opinion going into the game as a sort of preview, as well as just giving me a chance to talk about something that's been very important to me for a long while. And I know that for some specific people on the internet these days, it's not a popular thing to say you like anything in this particular fandom. But that'll be acknowledged a bit later. So, let's jump right into it. First, I want to start off with this, just to show off how big into the fandom I am. For those of you curious, and just as a general fun fact about me, I am a Hufflepuff with a 10-inch, quite flexible willow wand, and my Patronus is a St. Bernard. Those of you who have done the old Pottermore tests or the updated ones on the new website, I'd love to know your house, wand, and Patronus, so comment those details down below if you'd like. And also, I have an entire section on my pop shelf just for Harry Potter. I'll show a picture here, but I'll also go more into detail when I come out with a video that's showing off my entire office. Among my earliest memories of watching any film in the theater, there are two that stick out. There was Toy Story 2 and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I immediately fell in love with the established lore of the Wizarding World and the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. God, I still can't speak correctly. And I wanted to experience more adventures through the eyes of our favorite trio of wizards. And my love grew with each entry in the film franchise. While I didn't think each film was a masterpiece, or maybe I didn't think that some of them were as good as certain others, I was just happy to be watching the world and the story unfold in front of my eyes, especially because I hadn't read any of the books yet. I actually didn't start reading the book until I was in sophomore year of high school, in which I finished all 7 books within a month, which is actually pretty impressive. Even back then for me, that was pretty impressive. But even with my love for this world, I was still more of a casual fan. I would marathon the movies every year, and I'd check out any tie-in video games each time they came out, to which I didn't love all of them, but I found enjoyment in most. I especially loved Prisoner of Azkaban and Order of the Phoenix, and despised badly made games, in my opinion, like Goblet of Fire, which a lot of people will probably agree with that one, and also Deathly Hallows Part 1, which I have a feeling other people are also going to agree with me on that one, but my god, that Deathly Hallows Part 1 tie-in was so terrible. It wasn't until I had read the books and visited the Wizarding World at Universal Orlando for the first time that I truly felt the itch to learn everything I could about this world and its lore. Plus, it was around that time where my nerdy side had really started to evolve, where I became very enamored by fictional lore for various fandoms and properties. But even before I became a more hardcore fan, even ever since I was a kid who had only been able to see the first film, since there was only one at the time, I still wanted to find some sort of way to have my own adventures in the Wizarding World, to have some kind of theme park area for that, which we did end up getting, as well as a video game where I could attend classes, learn spells, just experience and learn the lore firsthand. And yes, I know wanting to attend the classes may sound a bit boring, but this is the kind of world where I would be excited to go to class every single day just because of how enamored I've been with the world and its inhabitants and its magic. We started seeing leaks online back in 2018 for an RPG set in the Wizarding World during the 1800s, and I didn't allow myself to get too hyped because I didn't know how real this was. And also, if it was real, for all I knew, it was just a mobile game, and I don't mean to offend anybody that enjoys mobile games. They're just not for me. But they had recently been coming out with a couple of Harry Potter mobile games around that time, like Wizards Unite, and I think they had already announced Magic Awakened at that point, but I did keep my eye out for any official announcements with slight caution. The caution went away when PlayStation showcased a reveal trailer near the end of 2020 talking about the game that was now officially called Hogwarts Legacy, and it was revealed that it would be released at the time, the next generation consoles and the current gen, which also still includes Nintendo Switch, which at the time I thought was cool, but to be honest, as a fan and owner of the console, I laughed a tiny bit because third-party games, in my experience, have been horribly ported over the Switch for years, so I already knew that the Switch version was not going to be an option that I was going to give myself, regardless of how good it was, because I didn't want to take the risk. Still cautious just to not get overhyped, but excited for more word on the project nonetheless. Then a year and a half went by, we heard nothing, and I began to forget about this game. Not fully, but it was just something that I wouldn't actively think about. That was until PlayStation announced a full, dedicated state of play to the game, and this is where my near obsession with learning everything I could about this game started. I was more than enamored. I was floored by what I saw in the state of play trailer that was almost 15 minutes long. I will likely at least touch on every single thing in the state of play that made me, to quote Elsa from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, giddy as a schoolboy. Both because I'm a Wizarding World fan, but also because I think this game has the makings of being a legit great RPG. And with each piece of marketing and reveal of the game, I just wanted more and more and got more excited. They showed small trailers showing things like one of the companions, the Slytherin student named Sebastian Sallow. And then you had the very unique and interesting Twitter and Instagram marketing where from time to time they would drop little tiny tidbits and showcases of the game. Whether it was character description cards for students and teachers, or even this last week showing off a few magical creatures. And early on before a lot of this, I began searching for people who were talking about Hogwarts Legacy online, doing breakdowns and theories and just listening to rumors. And that's when I discovered a few YouTubers. This included established general gaming YouTubers like Retro Raconteur, or Wizarding World specific ones like Expecto Go, who was actually part of a unique kind of marketing that Avalanche Software, the studio behind Hogwarts Legacy, and not to be confused with Avalanche Studios, the creators of the Just Cause games, came up with, which it was involving taking Hogwarts Legacy YouTubers who are fans of this world and having them host a showcase of gameplay, which was honestly a fantastic idea, and one that I hope that maybe game studios will do in the future with some of their games that maybe have an outreaching, just has that sort of pull to it, like it can reach across aisles, just like Hogwarts Legacy has been able to do. It's gotten people who love gaming but don't like Harry Potter, and people who like Harry Potter but aren't really gamers. So many of those types of people are very excited for this game. But honestly, the entire marketing campaign that Avalanche Software has been going through with this game has been very well done, and I was already excited and locked in after the state of play, but each trailer and official tweet and whatnot just made me more hyped for things I didn't even know that I wanted. Like with the voice acting, I didn't even stop to consider who was voicing who because I figured they would just be good voice actors, and that was that in my eyes. But then then they revealed what a lot of people were theorizing, that the headmaster was going to be an ancestor of Sirius Black, Phineas Nigellus Black, and that Simon fucking Pegg was voicing him. I didn't know that I needed that knowledge in my life until the trailer showcasing him and his voice, which was wonderful, appeared online. It took a character I wasn't super interested in since that man is considered the most hated headmaster in Hogwarts history, but just seeing it in action and seeing what Pegg does betraying the character just gave me yet another thing to look forward to. Also, before I move on to the next section of this Ramble Fest, I have to acknowledge one of the weirdest but most fun parts of being part of the discussion for the game, you know, just watching it grow along with the marketing. I mean, we got excited about the smallest damn things, and it was awesome because we'd have questions and the developers would have ways to answer it. For instance, we saw one moment where in a smaller video that I actually couldn't find that I wanted to attach to this video, there's a character doing a running start, seeming to jump off of the cliff and activate broom flying. That started a huge debate online if that meant that jumping was in the game or if it was more like God of War 2018 and its sequel, Ragnarok, where you just pressed a button when a prompt came up. I think it's called contextual jumping or something along those lines. And because the debate was so massive online, Avalanche did something unthinkable that racked up so many views and likes on Twitter. They posted a 5-second video of a character just doing a standing jump. This is where we are as the gaming fandom, and it's kind of hilarious. And let's not even mention or start on the debate about swimming, which, yeah, we can. I also don't want to forget to at least touch on the ASMR videos, which for me were very nice videos to just sit and watch for 20 minutes each to take in the sights and sounds of the world and the different seasons we will experience. The potential really lies with what all we know for sure is in the game, and we've learned a lot from what we've seen so far. They keep the story close to the chest overall, only revealing small tidbits like how we are starting off as a 5th year and how we can control a rare kind of magic, and we are going up against some kind of goblin rebellion, and that the goblins have dark wizard allies who are run by an ancestor of Augustus Rookwood. And actually, as a side ramble, after the recent launch trailer, I'm extra excited to see what the deal is with Victor Rookwood. I love his energy and his voice acting, especially in this scene shown.
No need for theatrics. I'm only here for this one anyway.
But getting back on track, with games, you can have a good story, but at the end of the day, it's the gameplay that really makes the game good. I mean, I've played games with not so great stories, but I was able to really enjoy them because of what was in the gameplay loop. And they've done a lot of work to make sure that this is a game that you can get lost in as far as gameplay. Character creation, to include being sorted into one of the iconic houses. Exploring the entire castle, which has been lovingly detailed to seemingly meld aspects from the films and the books, even showing new locations never seen in the film, like the Hufflepuff common room and kitchens. Exploring the grounds outside of Hogwarts, which so far it's unknown how big the world is, but it looks massive. Dueling combat that seems to be inspired by games like The Witcher 3, a talent and upgrade system that levels you up and makes you stronger and more skilled. The assortment of classes, including charms, defense against the dark arts, herbology, potions, and so many others that will introduce you to more skills that you can use in combat and just throughout gameplay. Broom flight and using mounts to get around the world. Having a companion system with 3 confirmed companions in Natsai Onai, Poppy Sweeting, and Sebastian, who I mentioned earlier. The Room of Requirement, which I will touch on in a bit. Having a shopping center in Hogsmeade, and even the clothes shopping which the presentation makes me think of Red Dead Redemption 2. The reveal that we can use all 3 unforgivable curses if we so desire, though the limits are still not known just yet. Getting to explore and live in your chosen common room, and the wonderful music, which we got an amazing and wonderful music video for one of the tracks back in December, and that I've been using for the backing music of this video. It's really hard to narrow down all the things about this that I have loved seeing, because there is so much, as you can see from just what I rambled about just now. But if I had to choose something that maybe I wasn't expecting that I needed until I knew that I could do it or have it, it's everything to do with the room of requirement and magical creatures. For those of you who maybe don't know, one part of the game involves dealing with poachers, and you can actually rescue the magical creatures throughout the world of the game and keep them inside of these special made rooms that are inside the room of requirement, which you use as a sort of home base to do things like brew potions in your spare time, transfigure clothing and gear. Hell, you can even transfigure the entire fucking room if you want. That's actually another thing that blew my mind when that was shown off, but just the fact that I get to catch magical creatures like fucking Pokemon really scratches an itch for me. And as someone who has always had a deep appreciation for animals and zoology in general, I will definitely be a sort of amateur magizoologist in Hogwarts Legacy. I can't wait to explore every single vivarium, as they're calling them, in the room of requirement and spend hours tending to the creatures I meet along the way. I mean, this is the thing that has stuck with me most ever since that state of play, and the gameplay showcase with Benjamin Snow made it feel even deeper of a gameplay mechanic and loop than I ever thought possible. And as someone who lives for base building and just crafting personal spaces in games, the room of requirement was made for me as a player. Hell, I'm even the kind of person who loves playing Fallout 4 just for the settlement building. Is it the best system? No, but I find it very fun. And I dabbled in The Sims, and I've been a fan of Animal Crossing for over a decade, ever since the Nintendo Wii. Oh, and also I've replayed Metal Gear 5 from time to time, just because I love the base building and that with Mother Base. But anyway, I'm starting to get off track. For the part that I am least looking forward to tackling in this video, but also a big reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place, is the discourse online from a very vocal minority, and that's involving those on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, if that's even still a thing, and wherever else people go to bitch about things and troll, where this minority of people have been spewing their toxic opinions online saying, hey, if you buy this game, you are inherently transphobic, you are a morally bad person. All because the creator, J.K. Rowling, has come out and spoken about her opinion on trans people. And I'm obviously not the first person to say this, to say what I have to say on this, but I won't be the last. But life is not that black and white. We grew up with this franchise and these characters and this world. Many of us have some of our earliest memories involving them. I just told you guys a couple of mine earlier. And you seemingly have two camps with the boycotters. Those who understand the love of the older stuff because of nostalgia, who will judge you for liking anything newer, and those who will judge you because you didn't decide to drop the Wizarding World like a bad habit when certain info became more public knowledge. Now, as far as my personal opinion on J.K. Rowling, keeping in mind that I am a fan of this world that she created and will always be, and I still think that she's a really good fantasy writer. I do think she is a shit person who runs her mouth on social and political issues without actually doing research, despite being a woman of science. And while I don't think any of us can say exactly how much money she makes off of the Wizarding World and Harry Potter licenses, she's a businesswoman. She definitely has ways to make more money off of this property that are written into her contracts and have been for years. Remember, this is her property. J.K. Rowling is kind of like George Lucas back when he still owned Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Of course, no two situations are ever exactly the same, but from my understanding of how this works, she has majority or even complete control over her IP, and you can't do anything with it without her say-so, and you can guarantee she gets an early payout on each thing that she does, as well as royalties that, again, have been built into her contracts for years, even decades. She's already made money off of this game, and she will likely continue to make money off the game if there is a royalty deal on this particular product, or maybe just involving anything video game related with Warner Brothers. Like I said, it's all about the contracts, whether it's long-term and general ones or for specific things. And with the massive entertainment industry, whether it's television, film, or video games, to quote film producer, editor, and director Robert Meyer Burnett, "It is not what you deserve, it is what you negotiate." And she has a lot of negotiating power. But to get back to Hogwarts Legacy itself, as far as if she'll make any further money off of it, I mean, her net worth is around $1 billion, so you're not hurting her if you decide to not buy a game. She makes between $50 and $100 million a year. You are not hurting her. She would barely even notice if the money that you didn't give her didn't show up into her account, if she ever did notice. So in my opinion, she should not be the focus of the topic of Hogwarts Legacy. In my opinion, the topic should be on if you think the game looks good, and if you want to support the developers themselves who have proven themselves to be fans working for years on a passion project, because the people who will suffer most from you boycotting this game will be them. That being said though, I understand not everyone looks at this situation just from the JK situation. If you just don't think the game looks good, or you are really that bothered by JK's outlook and you can't bring yourself to support the IP in some or any way, but you're also not making others feel bad for doing it, I support you. You are very much entitled to those opinions, and I will fight in any way that I can to make sure that you can always make those decisions for yourself. However, if you decide that because you don't like something, that means that nobody should be able to like that thing, then to be blunt, you are a fucking asshole. Just shut up already. You're not much better than those dumbasses who try to force people to boycott films and TV shows just because they have female or minority lead characters or any gay characters in general. Just like what happened recently with the review bombing that we just had with the third episode of The Last of Us on HBO. Your hate is just pointed in a different direction from all of those people. And for the vast majority of us, even if we would agree with you on the points of morality, we do not have time for your toxic rhetoric. But to transition into, and also end with, a more positive and hopeful note. As I mentioned before, this franchise has meant the world to me, and I am very proud of my love and connection to the Wizarding World. It is a sprawling world that has hundreds of years of history, with the potential of many more wonderful stories. Not to mention all of the inhabitants, whether they are human, goblin, house elf, or any beautiful magical beasts that they've made designs for in books and films and whatnot. Not everything will work out individually in this franchise, but that's the same with any other media franchise. And I'm just so excited to be able to play what feels like the answer to that dream I've had ever since I was a kid playing the Xbox version of Prisoner of Azkaban. Let me have my own adventures at the greatest wizarding school ever created. And even if this game isn't that game in the end, even if it doesn't end up working for me as a game, I can still say that the journey was worth it. The hype and excitement with each trailer, each gameplay showcase, each ASMR video was so much fun. And as someone who has had their own struggles in life, and understands the importance of those moments of happiness, I will cherish the memories of this period of time from March 17th, 2022 to right now, where I had something to look forward to, something a little extra that helped me get through any of the darker moments during that time. Not the only thing, but a big thing, and we are just hours from being able to experience this world from a few new perspectives, and I can't wait to see where it takes us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to my thoughts. I really appreciate it. As I said earlier in the video, I primarily focus on film reviews at this current time, and while I would love to tackle more than just that on the channel and branch out a little bit like I've done here, I also work full-time in manufacturing, and making a video like this is more time-consuming. Film reviews take a day for me to plan out and execute. This video took a few days, including the script, for me to actually get it how I wanted it. But I promise to release more videos like this in the future, whether they are film related, or video game related, or just pop culture related in general. Hell, I may even do some theme park stuff, you don't know. It's good practice and also gives me a chance to talk about more things that I like and love. And speaking of like and love, if you like this video, don't forget to like it. And also, if you aren't a subscriber yet, what the hell are you doing? Come on! All joking aside, if you are not a subscriber yet, I would very much appreciate you hitting that appropriate button down below. Until next time, farewell to all of you casual moviegoers, movie fans, gamers, nerds, and geeks alike, and keep on being awesome.
Be careful where you choose to explore, as it may lead you down a darker path. Master spells. Befriend new allies. Journey across a landscape never seen before. Uncover ancient secrets. Combat mystical threats. Learn long-forgotten mysteries. Become the witch or wizard you want to be as you leave your unique mark on the wizarding world. Here, in Hogwarts Legacy.